So today I'm going to be talking about Sram, which is the Croatian version or remake of Skam. And if you are thinking to yourself, what is Skam? I've never watched Skam. Saying that you're missing out is like an understatement because it is such an OG, like it is such a staple. Like you have to go watch it right now. But Skam is originally a Norwegian show, and fun fact, I'm actually from Norway. So Skam in Norwegian means, or translated to English means shame, and sram is also translated to shame, but it's in Croatian. Last time I watched Skam, the original, was like years ago. I think I was like 12 or 13, so I was very young. So it's been, what, 7 years now? And I feel like watching Skam at that point, like if I had watched it now, it would have been a totally different experience. And I noticed that while I was watching Sram, I got like flashbacks because the scenes are so similar. Like there are a couple changes, but they're so similar, so I kept going back to the original Skam to see like how similar the scenes are and how much they changed the storyline from the original. And while I was doing that, I realized how much I have changed. Obviously I've grown a lot. I mean, I've changed a lot in 7 years, but I mean, watching Skam like when I was 13 for the first time was just a totally different experience because I was so young. Like, I'm sorry, but when I think of 13-year-old me, I think of her as a baby. So the way that I interpreted like the scenes and stuff, totally different. And I think that was like the most interesting part about watching Sram, is just seeing how much I've changed as a person. Because Skam, if you are Norwegian, if you live in Norway, grew up in Norway, Skam is just one of those shows like everyone has watched Skam. Like you have to have watched it, especially if you're, I'm not saying that I'm that old, but at least like with people that are my age or older, people that are my age or older or around my age, guys, like everyone has watched Skam. And there's a reason why Skam is so popular and why it got so many remakes, because it is such a beautiful story about teenagehood. It's definitely one of the most like realistic shows when it comes to teenagers. A lot of the teen shows today are just not relatable. They're not realistic. You have like 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds that look like they're 20, and on top of that they act like they're 20. It doesn't seem like they have any parents. They do whatever they want. They say whatever they like. It's just, there's a disconnect, you know? And it also makes it difficult to relate to the characters, relate to anything, and it makes it difficult to like connect with the show or connect with the stories. Enough yapping about teenage shows in general, and onto the Sram review. I don't know if you can call this a review, but it's just like my thoughts while watching it. I took some notes, but I don't know, I'm gonna be talking freely about it, so obviously there will be spoilers. If you haven't watched it, like, this is your warning. Like, I hate spoilers so much. Like, I am the type of person that if you spoil one tiny little detail, I will drop the show or movie or whatever it might be. I'm not watching it. I'm so sorry. Like, it ruins the experience. I remember when I was watching The Walking Dead, this was like 5 years ago, and The Walking Dead was so good. So I'm still pissed about it. Like, I'm holding a grudge, and that's why I'm talking about it right now, because I will never forget how I felt. I was on season 4 or 5. No, I think I was on season 3 or 4. I don't remember. But by the way, like, this was my fault 100%. I was watching The Walking Dead. I was on season 3, and then I saw a spoiler. Obviously, I'm not gonna say what it was, but it was like kind of a big spoiler, but at the same time not. And I kept watching and hoping that I would forget about the spoiler. Like, I was trying to convince myself like it's not gonna happen, or I was just like trying to forget about it. It didn't work, and I had to drop the show, which sucked because the show was actually really good. Like, if you watch The Walking Dead, you probably know that, like, it's a really good show, but I was basically forced to drop it because of that one little tiny little detail of a fucking spoiler. Okay, so the first 2 seasons are, I mean, they pretty much follow the same storyline as the original Skam. So the first one is about Eva and Jakov, and they're in a relationship and they're going through some stuff, and I don't remember really liking the first season of the original Skam. Like, I liked it, but because I was so young when I was watching it, I remember being very confused about their relationship and their issues. Like, I remember they were fighting all the time, and especially Eva. I hated her character. Please don't come at me like I just didn't like her because she was like whiny and she was always complaining, and you know, we already know like some of the issues, because like again, I was really young when I was watching it. Not to say that I was stupid or anything, but I guess I wasn't old enough to understand that sometimes you can't really see the issues in a relationship, but like you understand them. Like, and now watching Sram, I realized like, damn, this relationship is so toxic, because it all starts with them going to this cabin. Like, they had been planning it for months, and he decides to just invite a bunch of friends when it's like the one time you guys are supposed to spend quality time together. You decide to invite your friends. Of course she's going to be mad. Of course she's going to feel unwanted. She's going to feel unimportant. You're not really, like, you don't want to spend quality time with me. Like, yes, that would make me feel really bad about myself, and it would put me in a bad mood for the whole trip. If it only happens once, it's not a big deal, but this is obviously like a reoccurring issue. Like, this is something that they struggle with. He doesn't want to spend that much time with her, and later on we realize why. It's because she doesn't really have any friends, and he pushes her to make her own friends. So I think that was nice. And I also like the fact that they didn't actually end up together in the season. They weren't what they needed for each other. She didn't have any friends. She wanted someone that wanted to spend a lot of time with her, quality time. She wanted attention, and not in a bad way, but like, he was kind of all she had, and she felt, I guess, neglected, or not neglected, but she just felt unwanted, and that is not a good feeling to have when you're in a relationship. And then on top of that, with the whole Sarah thing, obviously she's going to feel insecure about it, but I can also understand his perspective. If I don't hang out with my partner, they're going to be alone, so you have this responsibility to not make them feel that way, but at the same time, it's too much for you. Like, he might have felt like she was too clingy, which is understandable. So I think having like time from each other was, or is, the best thing for them. So them breaking up was honestly the perfect ending. And it's not even an ending, because we're still gonna see like their relationship in season 3, and we also saw a lot of their relationship in season 2. So yeah, but I think for season 1 it was just it was like the best ending. But when I was watching it at 13, I felt like it was so stupid. Like, why did they break up? And I was also blaming Eva for everything. I was just thinking to myself, like, you're the reason, when the whole time, like, they're both very toxic. And especially Jonas, or Jakov, he was definitely very manipulative. Like, he was lying to her about Sarah, and she was like, I heard Sarah on the phone, and he was like, no, you're being paranoid, you think I'm cheating, like. And I also love the fact that the remake is so similar to the original, because that gives me a chance to re-experience the whole Skam watching experience. Basically, I get to watch it and like re-appreciate it, if that makes sense. Like, I really, really like that aspect. I know that is the whole point of a remake, but I like that it's actually a remake and not just like an inspiration, and then they changed everything about it. So now we can move on to season 2, and in season 2 we're focusing on Nora. We all know Nora. Nora is like basically the face of Skam, badass female character, and I love Nora. I mean, you can't really not like her or love her, but I love her, and they did her character so well in Strum. We all loved her in the OG Skam, and I loved her just as much in this remake. Like, she's just perfect. And I might actually, like, I don't know if this is like controversial, but I actually kind of liked her more, or I liked the Nora in this remake more than in the original, because in both the versions, Nora is like the one in the friend group she's the one that's like kind of taking care of everyone, you know. She's the mom of the group, and she's also very aware of things, and sometimes seem to be a little too mature, to the point where it's like, are you even a teenager yourself? Like, I remember that when I was watching the original Skam, I did sometimes think like she didn't fit in with the group. In this version, or this version of Nora, seems like more aligned with the friend group, especially considering that they are very young teens. So she seems like more bubbly and less mature, like in the original. And honestly, I have no problem. I like both versions of Nora. I think they have the same traits, and they have the same like characteristics and stuff, but it's just in this version she's more lax, which I am not complaining about that. I really like that aspect of like this Nora, I guess. And I think for a lot of people that she can kind of come across as judgy, especially in the first season when we're seeing her from Eva's perspective. But in season 2 we get to know more of her character, her background or her story, and also seeing her fall in love, which is, I guess you just see like the more human version of her. You see her making mistakes and just being a teenager, and I really like that. And then on top of that, like I said, this version of Nora is more lax, so I don't know, but it doesn't really matter because I love Nora in the original too, so for me it's like both Noras are, I love them so much. I'm so excited for season 3, and then hopefully there will be a season 4 where we see the other characters. And honestly, I just hope we get more than 4 seasons, because in the original we only get 4, and I don't know if we were supposed to get more than 4, but I wouldn't mind. Anyways, back to Nora and her storyline. So like I said, season 2, is her season, and we get to see her falling in love and doing all of the normal teenage things, and especially my favorite storyline, which is the one where she gets drugged. They did it a little differently on this remake, because in the original she got drugged, I believe, and then by her boyfriend's brother, and then he was blackmailing her with some pictures. And this one was pretty similar, but the only difference is that this time we actually got to see her boyfriend get revenge, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed him going there and beating his brother up. Like, yes, I feel like we missed that in the original. Like, I needed to see the revenge, but we never got that. If I remember correctly, maybe we did, I don't know. But I just have to say though, the actress of Nora, amazing. Actually, all the actors in this show are amazing, but especially the drug storyline, or the blackmailing storyline is just top notch. Like, it was so good. You could definitely feel her paranoia, you could feel her stress, and just fear of, like, first of all, not being believed, fear of how people would react, also just feeling shameful about it, even though there's nothing to feel shameful about. I could literally feel that through the screen. I do want to say, like, the acting in the show is very casual. It's just very, like, natural, and especially since they're teens, I understand that it can be difficult, but I think the fact that they casted young actors, like, they're very young, like, I think they're all in their early 20s, like maybe 22, 23. American shows need to take some notes, because I'm sick of seeing high schoolers that are played by 40-year-olds. Like, oh my god, I can't do it anymore. Not only do they not look like high schoolers, but they can't act like a high schooler. There's no way for them to do that in a natural way. So it always just, I hate it so much. Like, it's actually my pet peeve, or like my least favorite thing about high school / college shows or movies, is that they always cast like the oldest actors. Like, you're telling me you could not find one single actress or actor that was under say 25? There are so many great actors that are thirsting over roles, and yet you're picking the one that is visibly 35. And I'm not trying to age discriminate, but it's like, hello. Another thing that I really wanted to talk about was Russ culture, because I was really excited to see how they would incorporate the Russ culture into the show, because in the original, Russ is like a very big thing. And that is because in Norway, being Russ is like the highlight for many teenagers, and you're in high school, that's like kind of what everyone talks about. Not everyone, but it's like, it's a big thing. It's a culture, it's tradition. And in Skam, that was also one of the reasons why they even became friends. Like, it was kind of the glue of the friendship in the beginning, obviously. And I was just excited to see how they would incorporate that, because Russ is like strictly Norwegian. Like, it's no other countries, I've never heard of any other countries having something similar to, I get like partying and celebrating being done with high school, but Russ itself is just so unique. And I like the way they did it. I don't know what the whole coupe thing is. I don't know if that's a Croatian thing, but it's very similar, I guess. And I don't know, I think they approached it in a really good way. Honestly, I didn't even think that they were going to have that storyline because this is such a unique Norwegian cultural thing, but I think that the way they did it with the coupe was natural and it didn't feel forced. I don't know. I haven't watched any of the other remakes, so I don't know how they did it, but it felt like a good way to incorporate this culture. Like it feels the same. It obviously doesn't have to be this. And I'm definitely excited to see how the other remakes do it because I will be watching the other remakes. I don't know which one I will watch next. Maybe the Spanish version or the French one. But the French one has like 10 seasons, so I don't know if I'm ready for that, honestly, but we'll see. The last things I want to say about the show is love the friendship. I mean, that is quite literally the main thing, like the friendship between the girls. I loved it. It felt natural. I loved just the chemistry. I love how they got together. I loved everything about the friendship. And the way they acted like teenagers would act today, like Gen Z teenagers. There was one specific scene actually when I think Eva and Nora, they were just chilling, and then Eva was showing her like brain rot videos, and I had to stop. I had to like pause because that was the first time that I've ever seen a show where they mention, say, social media or a meme or something, and it doesn't feel forced or corny. Like, they could actually be my friends. Like, I could be in that room and we could have a conversation and like joke around and understand each other. And that's how it feels to relate to a character. It's not just about relating to like the hardships and stuff, but also it's the small things, like sharing a meme. Anyways, that will be it for this video. I don't have anything else to say. I mean, I could talk more about like I think I could talk more about Nora and also my predictions for season 3, but I might just make like another video where I do like a season 3 review. Again, I'm not sure when it's coming out. I think it's in January, but it's definitely gonna be next year, so stay tuned for that, I guess. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.